Lost on Lost Season 2, baby!
Hell yeah!
We've watched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Lost, and we've learned a lot.
Did we?
And we've learned to love Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Boone, and Claire.
Did we?
But now it's time for Seasons 4, 5, and 6.
That's right, we're still going to talk about the mysteries and mythologies of the island.
And obviously hot tropical hookups.
But now we're going to talk about things like the freighter,
The Others,
Charles Widmore,
The Lighthouse,
time travel,
9/11,
Ronald Reagan,
the Catholic Church,
Titus,
Gold Chains,
the military-industrial complex,
the Prison Industrial Complex,
the Void,
the Orb,
and so much more.
So strap on and strap down, because if you thought last season was confusing,
This is going to be so much worse. Or better if you like being lost on Lost. Strap on?
you heard me. Welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. I'm Adam Busher, and I'm so late to this recording. We were supposed to start like 45 minutes ago, and it's all my fault. And I'm apologizing on air profusely to my co-host JP Russell.
Don't worry, I recorded 30 minutes of stuff for you and Justin. I did both y'all's parts.
And we're gonna cut to that now.
Yeah, I gave you some jokes, not the best jokes. I kept all those for me, but you got some good ones in there.
Yeah. I also have to apologize to our guest, returning guest, Justin Nickels, official Blu-ray correspondent, Justin Nickels.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited
Of course.
to be here.
Glad to have you.
I felt like a real cool guy standing on your street holding a Blu-ray box set of Lost while like people are driving by.
There was some old white woman that definitely like clutched her pearls and was like, "Harry, we need to move to a new neighborhood."
Yeah. They're bringing physical media over here.
They're like crossing the street, like get away from him.
Call the HOA.
Yeah, make sure to check our socials, because you're going to be seeing Justin has brought with him the collector's edition complete series Blu-ray Lost.
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
Bought it in 2010.
Feel free to not answer this, but how much did you pay for it when you bought it?
I don't remember, but it might have been like probably around $150 or something. It was like a Christmas present kind of thing.
That's actually not that bad.
Because I think that same thing now is like $700, the cheapest place you can find it.
Yeah. Which is crazy. It's just a bunch of cardboard. I mean,
Right.
Nice.
We're rich.
So,
but yeah, it's a cool presentation. Again, check our socials. We're gonna have some pictures of it. It basically looks like the base of a statue. It's sort of a cut off pyramid.
Yeah.
It's got a fabric tab to open up to the inside.
There's crazy stuff that we can show.
There's
like
a map of the island.
on the
It's
inside.
got topography to it.
Yeah,
You know how I'm horny for topography.
This whole thing is kind of ridiculous for a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, through the nature of the actual smallness of Los Angeles, your wife Mallory is now my employee, and we were talking about how you were coming on this week, and she goes, "He's had the Lost Blu-ray sitting on our coffee table for the whole week."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited that he's excited. And she was like, I'm going to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. She's like,
Love
she's
it.
done. She's been done with Lost since 2010.
I just found out from her because we were talking about it. And she goes, "Oh, you're a finale apologist." And I thought she was going to quit. Like,
Yeah.
Mallory's opinion was so strong. I was like, "You should be our finale guest." And she's like, you're not getting me on the podcast.
No, yeah.
It's bad enough you've gotten my husband on 5 times.
I'm always like, let's keep our like true opinions about this show to ourselves, because I wouldn't mind working with some of these people one day.
Yeah, and I'm sure she loves the pod, right? I mean, we're charming as hell.
She loves Lost on Lost.
Yeah.
A couple of chuckle fucks over here. Speaking of Lost,
Yeah.
do you guys want to talk about Lost?
Yeah.
I'm fucking so excited. Today we're talking about whatever happened. It is the 11th episode of the 5th season of Lost and the 97th episode of Lost overall. Our central character is everybody's favorite stove warranty enthusiast, Kate. It originally aired on April 1st, 2009. It was written by Hughes and Lindelof and directed by Bobby Roth.
Bobby Roth, baby.
Adam,
Nah.
you got a recap?
Nah.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, Roger Workman. Back in 2007, Oceanic 815 survivor Kate Austin makes a friend, possibly her first friend since Tom Brennan. You all remember Tom, the guy who got shot by Black Hawk County sheriffs while trying to help Kate escape from St. Francis Hospital? Anyway, Kate's new friend is Cassidy Phillips, her ex-hookup's baby mama and one-time partner in crime. And further back, in 1977, Hughes and Lindelof attempt to make the kill baby Hitler thing into compelling television. Does it work? Only one way to find out. If Nestor Carbonell told me that going with him would change me forever and that I would lose my innocence, I'd be the first in line to polish his Emmy, if you know what I'm talking about. And if anybody asked me about it, I'd tell them whatever happened, happened. It's whatever happened, happened here on Lost on Lost.
Bravo.
So the Emmys just happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nestor Carbonell won Best Guest Actor, Guest Supporting
Shogun,
Actor
right?
in a drama for his appearance on Shogun.
Which I hear you haven't watched past the first episode. I'm so disappointed.
Dude, I even have fucking Sorcerer sitting here. It's like, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shogun won 14 Emmys, record-setting, amazing.
I think it won 18.
18
It
total.
won 14 at the
at creative, and then 4. Yeah. So record-breaking amount of episodes, and everybody out there should apparently be watching it, myself included.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, to everyone out there, thank you. It was an honor just to be nominated.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were nominated, right?
No. Yeah. We were not nominated for a Creative Arts Emmy. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe you have this planned for later, but tomorrow is a big day.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And we did want to make mention. We were recording this the day before the actual 20th anniversary of the beginning of Lost on ABC. September 22nd, 2004 is an auspicious day in Lost history.
Yeah.
That was the pilot. September 21st, 2004, it's 2024 today. And the 20th anniversary is around to be coming.
Yeah. This is the Earth, Wind, and Fire song, September.
Yeah.
So
are you guys doing anything special to celebrate the big day?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
This.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I brought my
was just gonna
Blu-rays
steal my
over.
neighbor's
Yeah.
mail like I usually do, but whatever.
Yeah. Justin brought his Blu-rays in a sleeping bag, and we're going to watch all 112 episodes in a row.
Perfect.
And it's funny because this episode won't air till fucking December. But
Hey, we're ahead of schedule, baby.
Yeah. In December, when you're listening to this, know that we recognized the anniversary. And we didn't think far enough ahead to the episode that would be airing this coming Wednesday to mention it then, because we recorded that 3 months ago.
Anyways,
The Getting Lost documentary is like right around the corner. They're wrapping up production and getting ready to put that out.
That's going to be great.
I think there's a in-theater premiere for the Getting Lost documentary.
I'm sure
tomorrow.
we'll be invited.
I hope so.
Yeah. So everybody out there in the Lost fandom, here in the Laldom, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd be here doing this because of that?
It's pretty weird because, like I like to mention every time I come on this, it was almost 5 years ago that you first told me about.
Yeah, Justin was actually probably one of the first people to hear about it, because I think I started talking to you about it while we were in pre-production.
While there were whispers of the world shutting down.
Yeah.
And we were like, Adam's like, think about doing a podcast.
Yeah, what are you gonna do while none of us can go outside? Well, I was thinking about doing a podcast.
I think to y'all's credit, y'all had this idea before the world shut down.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah. And so like y'all were working on it. And so it's not like you're not falling into like the trap of like sourdough starters and podcasts.
Yeah. The time afforded to, well, and that's the thing too, is like we've talked about this in the past too, but like JP was deemed an essential worker. He got 10 days off.
Yeah. I was right back in there, baby.
Yeah.
I stayed in my house from May till September.
When we were deemed essential workers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. Well, there you go. Whatever happened, happened. I noticed while taking notes for this episode that the way I write my 7s look like a reverse FF, which is how I notate flash forward.
Oh,
so
wow.
flash forward. So I thought that 77 and that was just one of the many interesting things I wrote down while watching this episode of television. Jin wake. Okay. Holy fuck. Okay. So
Jin wakes up and it's not in bed next to me.
So it's obviously not our dreams. Hulu did this to me again for the second time in at least 3 episodes. It didn't give me the option to skip the recap.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
So I had to manually skip the recap.
Same.
And I didn't quite nail it.
Me neither.
So I saw what will have occurred just prior to the beginning of the episode. The pure is Jin just waking up and be like, "Oh God!" and you hear Patrick Fischler on the radio, "Jin, where are you?"
Yeah, me too. And gotta tell you, very excited.
Jin explains what happened in the previous episode. He got jumped by Saeed. He got attacked and knocked out, and Saeed is heading northward through wherever. So if you want to find him, go off that away.
Get him.
But then just off to the side, Jin discovers a young boy who has been shot.
Yeah.
And he springs into action.
We've seen this boy.
Picks him
know
up,
this
puts him in
boy.
the- yeah, we all recognize this boy. It's young Ben Linus.
Yeah. Y'all did know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've seen a
young
couple
Ben.
episodes.
I was about to be
least
like, what
Yeah,
what an introduction.
Yeah, we've not seen the episode immediately prior to this one, but we have seen some of the 77 Dharma stuff. Yeah, Little Ben's been around. It's been a while since we've seen Little Ben. It's
been a spell.
We've seen Roger relatively recently, but it's been a while since we saw Little Ben. But yeah, Little Ben's been shot, so Jin loads him into the van and does what you would hope a good Samaritan would do. We cut over to the barracks. The Dharma Initiative is preparing for possible hostile contact. And Horace Mathematician is the ringleader here.
Yeah, dude. He's like, everybody, go to your assignments, do all your stuff. Jack chimes in at some point about like, hey, how did he start the fire if he was locked up? And Horace gets really shitty and really in Jack's face. Like, yeah, he has to have help from somebody. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was saying, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fucking
Eugene Toombs.
just trying to make sure you're up to speed here on like what's going on. It's like he's very he's not accusatory of Jack, but he's not accusatory of Jack. Like, I don't know who you are, and I hate your comb over.
Yeah.
He's such a hard guy to
Look at?
Yeah. It's like, it's weird.
Horace?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a bad guy in real life? Does
Yeah.
he end up doing some stuff?
Yeah,
It's
I think so.
problematic.
It's not okay, I don't think.
It's pretty problematic.
Yeah.
So like there's this whole thing where like if you're a child, your parents can consent in your place to marry you off. And so that like totally happened with this dude, Doug Hutchison, and his 17-year-old bride.
Wasn't she 16?
16 or 17 at the
Yeah.
time. He was 51. And they would do talk shows, like the two of them and her parents be like, "Oh, Doug is so loving." That's it. It's like he's a 50-year-old one man skeezing on a teenager. Like
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
And he's also Eugene Toombs.
And he's Eugene Toombs, which is arguably one of the creepiest X-Files out there. So
2 episodes in the first season.
horrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a file, all right.
But yeah, hard to look at. Hard to look
Yeah.
at this guy. But yeah, so he's like, "Hey, there's probably somebody helping him, but nobody panic. It's fine. Let's not
Don't
all
worry
start
about it."
pointing fingers. Let's all be cool. Let's be chill. You're a problem."
Yeah.
Yeah, 59 seconds. T2J here.
Yeah.
He's doing his workman thing, helping clean up from the fire, whatever. Also helping clean up from the fire is one of the other 3 janitors, Roger Workman.
Yeah.
He enlists Kate to help him pull the burnt van out of this building because she's from the motor pool. She knows how to use a winch, but she doesn't really. Whatever. It's this little thing.
I kind of find it hard to believe that Kate wouldn't know how to use a winch.
Right?
Yeah,
Because she knows how to like track stuff. Like I feel like
Yeah, I was gonna say she
her-
knows how to do everything else. Why would she not
Yeah.
know how to pull a lever on a winch?
yeah, because like she can track people down in the woods. Like her stepfather trained her
Yeah.
and all sorts of stuff. It seems like the military would teach one how to use a winch. I don't know.
Or at least have the skills to just kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
Right, there's one lever on it.
One thing I thought, this is weirdly specific, but they go to a wide shot and then she literally trips on the wire.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that was kind of smart for them to keep it in.
Yeah, because
I'm-
she's just like trying to step over the wire and she like catches her foot on it. She doesn't like eat shit or anything, but like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Maybe she's just playing dumb to get out of work. I've done that one
Very
before,
human.
too.
So
Jin rolls up.
yeah,
Does not yell for help. Just
No.
pulls kiddo out of car and runs toward hut.
yep. And we cut to our first flash forward.
Well, and Roger sees this. Like, that's my boy.
Oh, yeah, that's my
Don't know
boy.
his name, but that's my boy.
Oh no,
My boy.
my boy, father, no. Yeah, so we cut to our first flash forward. This is season 5, so this is the flash forward. The flash forward,
Yes.
we're cutting to a time after the Oceanic Six have escaped the island, leaving behind everybody else. 2007 takes place, specifically here, 3 year. They've been back for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Patsy Cline playing on the radio, little ditty called "She's Got You." Patsy Cline features pretty prominently in Kate's flashbacks. They never really say why. They're just, I guess, just a character thing.
Because it was a cheap license to get for this song. The estate of Patsy Cline was like, yeah, whatever, $25, sure.
Mail that fucking check. Kate and Baby Onion Head, Baby Aaron. This flash forward is not 2007.
It's still 2004.
Right, this is
Yeah,
right
this
after
is
they get
this is
back.
short. Yeah, so this specific flash forward is shortly after they return. So sometime late 2004, early 2005. Not that it's crucially important, but Baby Aaron's still a baby. He's not football player Aaron. Yeah, it's Cassidy. It's Kim Dickens. We saw in a Sawyer flashback and in a Kate flashback.
Which, they sort of address it a little bit, but like, so she rings the doorbell, and maybe she called ahead, maybe she didn't, I don't know, but like they know each other, and then to also just be like, yeah, and I was on a plane crash with your baby daddy. Like, even like in the best of situations, that is such a wild coincidence. But, like, huh? What?
Well, I kind of feel like, is it Cassidy's her name?
Yeah, Cassidy.
I feel like Cassidy's like, of course Sawyer would be involved in something like this coming back around. Like, I think she sees no coincidences with Sawyer.
Yeah. Cassidy does ask, why are you here? And she said, Sawyer sent me.
It's kind of funny that I have 2 Cassidy episodes on your podcast because
You're our Cassidy correspondent.
Yeah.
So Kate decides to tell Cassidy the truth about Sawyer and the island and the Oceanic Six. Just like they've constructed this big lie. They tell it to the media, they tell it to everybody, and then this is the person she chooses to spill to. Okay, sure.
Neat.
There's a really important aspect to the scene that we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. There's an envelope filled with money that she's giving her, and I don't know if you were fans of DuckTales.
Big DuckTales.
Like,
Universe
you may or
fans
may not
here,
recall there was an episode where Scrooge McDuck is suddenly allergic to money.
Okay.
And so like his doctor's like, you need to go to a place where there's no money whatsoever. So he finds this island. It's like this socialist paradise where there's no concept of capitalism whatsoever. And he's like finally getting cured of money. But the only problem is like somebody on the plane that he was on, that launch pad I assume was flying, had soda like in a bottle with a bottle cap. And the bottle cap fell out of the plane and landed on the island. And a member of the tribe that was like completely untouched from the woes of capitalism discovered this bottle cap and placed value on it more so than anything else.
Sure.
To the point where then like they start like shipping in bottle caps to this island so people can trade it and all this. And so it winds up becoming a thing where like these bottle caps have value.
Yeah.
And so I did a conversion rate thing. And the amount of money in that envelope is equal to about 300,000 bottle caps on this island.
I've spent the entire past week wondering how you were going to do it.
Guys, we're good here. We can wrap this up. We're done.
So then a bunch of other bullshit, lost nonsense stuff happens. Did we like it? Was it good? Nicely done.
Just
Thanks.
well done.
I did my own research.
Yeah,
you put in more work than we did. So
nicely done. But yeah, the cash envelope. There are 2 other things that happen here in this scene. Cassie's like, Sawyer didn't give you that money. That's not his money. And she's like, yeah, we got a settlement from the plane. And then she's also like, so like, how's your baby? You know, your baby. That's obviously your baby.
You told me you lied to the world.
My baby's
and
fine.
you're
She's
gonna
like, that's
tell
not your baby.
I do think it's really funny that she got this settlement and like she took it out in cash.
Yeah. Just give me the cash. We're going to give you $56 million for surviving this plane crash. That was 10s and 20s?
Yeah.
But yeah, Cassie knows that the baby's not Kate's baby. And yeah, they have a little conversation about that. Why did you choose to tell me the truth about the plane crash but lie about the baby? Blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Come back to 77. LaFleur is just watching a little TV, checking the security tapes, trying to figure out what happened as far as the burning van situation and the missing prisoner situation. Kate comes in. She wants to be looped in. She's like, you need to tell me what's going on. She's like, you got to get out of here. Like, this is suspicious as hell. A bunch of weird shit starts happening. The second 3 people that like just kind of like appeared out of nowhere, like it's all, let me do my thing. I've been doing this for 3 years and it's been going really, really well. The second that you and Jack got here, now everything's fucked. So go outside.
Yeah, it'd be really weird if somebody else came down here and I had to come up with a bullshit excuse on the spot as to why you're down here. Oh, wait.
Yeah, Horace comes down with Jin and Phil and Miles.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's she doing here? And, I had to interview her because she's whatever. Okay, I've talked to you. Now run along.
Bye.
Don't say run along to adults. It's so infantilizing.
Gross.
It's disgusting.
Is that when he said scram?
I think it was Amscray.
He says run along here. He says, I think it's scram is later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
why? Who says scram?
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, did you check the cell to see what was going on? He's like, no, the fucking place is on fire and I'm trying to track this guy down. I haven't had time to do much sleuthing.
Right, yeah. So they go over to his cell and they're like, let's look for clues. And they're like, oh, the keys are in the door. And they're like, oh, mystery solved. Somebody let him out.
This confirms our suspicions that someone was in on it.
Meanwhile, there's a building still on fire. I'm glad we're down here, though.
Yeah. It's a janitor's set of keys, so it can only be one of 3 people. A dude named Willie, Roger Workman, Roger Linus, or the new workman, Jack Shepard. So they're obviously going to be chief suspects. LaFleur and Miles are like, we're going to go talk to Jack.
Yeah.
They head out. Once they get up top, LaFleur, Sawyer, James Ford, Detective Ford. He tells Miles, he's like, actually, we're not going to do that. Just go get them and just put them in a house and keep them under lock and keys.
Yeah.
And don't let them just talk to anybody.
Don't let them get into any more fucking trouble.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And Miles is like, yep, on it, boss. I really like Miles just be like, yeah, this is my job. I'm a security guard and I work for Jim LaFleur. He's my boss. So yeah, you got it, boss. I love that. He's just like
He's the most go with the flow guy. Yeah. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, they've had like 3 years of very little stress.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. It's just like, yeah, fucking, okay, we got sent back in time, but like, shit, all right.
We're on a beautiful island, like just
everything that we need to provide for us. Yeah, all we got to do is just
on
chill.
That grind set.
Yeah. So yeah, Miles goes off to stash them. LaFleur heads to the infirmary. He bumps into Roger outside of the infirmary, talks to him a little bit.
Not nearly drunk enough.
Well, it's early.
Yeah, well.
But LaFleur's detective instincts kick in. And he's like, hey, you got your keys on you? And Roger passes. He's like, oh, I must have left them at home.
Yeah.
Smooth. Nicely done, Jim.
Yeah. Wow.
Killing 2 birds out here.
I was skipping ahead a little bit here, but later he's like, damn, LaFleur. He asked me where my keys are. Kid must have, he never asked me a question unless he already knows the answer. I'm like, are we talking about the same fucking guy? The guy who got the gun stolen out of his ass crack by Ana Lucia? Like, that guy? Okay.
Well, he said he's done a lot of growing up.
Yeah, all right.
He goes into the infirmary and Juliet is tending to Ben along with a nurse because
kid's bleeding.
The real doctor is at the medical station and won't be back, so she's doing it. But yeah, she can't quite hack it because Juliet's not a surgeon. She's a doctor. She's a fertility specialist. She's not a surgeon, so she's doing her best. But little Ben needs a real surgeon. Wouldn't it be nice if there was one around
with 21st century medical knowledge?
Yeah. Cut over to the house. Miles has rounded up Jack and Kate and Hurley, and Miles explains to him what's going on a little bit. Hurley seems a little distracted. He's not really quite listening. He does a really good job of being in the background, like looking at his hands. Like Hurley's behavior was drawing my eye away from whatever was happening because I was like, he's doing something. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing? And so Hurley is concerned that Ben getting shot, them being here in 77 at all, they're gonna get back to the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Which, you know what? valid.
Imagine that the only time travel movie you've ever seen is Back to the Future. That's your only frame of reference,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, you mean, like, I'm going to go back in time, and all of a sudden, something's going to happen, and now, I'm going to fade away. And that's exactly what happens to Marty McFly during the Enchantment Under the Sea. He starts to disappear, and he can't play the guitar. His hand fades out.
And like Hurley...
He also kisses his mom, though. Let's not forget about that.
Hurley would be a huge fan of Avengers Endgame.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, and like, so he would have, if this was 15 years later, he would have been like, oh, I completely understand. I don't know. This part, I have to say, this part really like irritated me.
Yeah.
I was just like, you would understand this stuff. I don't know. Like,
well, because Miles attempts to, once Hurley says what he's concerned about, Miles attempts to describe causality.
Yeah.
Right.
Of time travel, like how, and it's tough because there's so many metaphors you can use for it. I was thinking to myself, I was like, it's like a wave, you know, like we're always, if you're surfing on a wave, you're always on the leading edge of it, and you can't go backward and you can't go forward. You're just on that, and so the present is the only thing you're ever aware of experiencing. And then like Miles is talking about, you know, how it's a straight line and it's not. And then I was thinking, I realized at that point I had a huge missed opportunity to do a True Detective time as a flat circle thing in the recap, and then I thought to myself, I was like, well, all circles are flat. If it's not flat, it's a sphere,
right?
Like flat circles redundant.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about any of that. You mentioned a wave, and now I'm just looking at pictures of dogs surfing, and they're so fucking rad. He's got sunglasses on. Hell yeah.
Hurley says that was really confusing, and Miles says get used to it, and I feel like he was talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely for the audiences. It's entertaining and for their benefit, I guess. Miles does say something to Jack about like, oh yeah, you can leave and I'll shoot you in the leg.
Yeah.
Sawyer does eventually come in, is like, hey, I need a fucking real doctor because my hot girlfriend needs surgical help. Hey doc, come do that thing you trained your whole life to do.
Come do that thing that you took an oath to promise to do.
Yeah.
Well, we know Jack's history with the Hippocratic Oath. It's more of a Hippocratic suggestion.
Well, it's Hippocratic, all right.
I mean, honestly, like all the characters in this episode and their behavior, Jack's the only one that does have the moral argument that he's better than the rest of them. In a way, like he's like, yes, I would go back in time and kill Hitler.
As
a baby.
Because that's the whole crux of this whole thing.
Yeah.
That's where Hurley's fear is born out of. If Ben dies, the future as we know it is going to be erased.
Right.
And there's the whole. It's in Avengers Endgame. If you know, if we can travel through time, why don't we go back and find Thanos and just?
Yeah,
that's horrible. And then it's in Deadpool at the end of Deadpool 2.
That's
spoilers.
You gotta be prepared to kill baby Hitler.
He goes back and he can't do it because it's an infant. He's gonna put a 50 caliber pistol to an infant's head.
Give me the gun. Give me the pillow. Give me the knife.
That's the thing. It's like, and it's this whole philosophical debate about killing baby Hitler thing, and that's what they're...
No debate. Kill the baby.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No problem. I'll do it 10 times out of 10. And 11 times on Sunday. Let's go.
It's the ultimate train problem, and there is one correct answer.
Okay, so cool. I guess there is an answer. I never thought about it too much. There's a quick commercial. Kate is trying to convince Jack to help, and Jack says that he spent all of his last time here on the island trying to fix things, and he's done doing that because that wasn't working. It would be insane to try and keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. He's like, yeah, I'm the wait and see guy now. Before I was proactive and reactive and all that stuff, I was all kinds of active. Not that anymore.
I'm now in a time paradox. I'm going to let this thing play out.
He also says a weird thing is like, oh, the first time I saved Ben, it was for you. And I did that. I already did that, so I'm not doing it again.
It's so funny to me. This episode ties back to almost every episode that I've been on this show for, because like the bad tattoo episode, that was like the everything to do with Ben's surgery during that time. And I think it's just it's almost like
I would say it's almost like we planned it, but
we did not.
We did not.
It's almost as big of a coincidence as your baby mama running into your ex plane crash girlfriend.
Kate says, I don't like the new you. I liked the old you. And Jack's like, bullshit.
Yeah, you didn't like the
You
old
didn't
me.
like the old me. Let's be real here. Like,
Yeah, I actually kind of like that. It's
I
like
liked that moment from him. It's like, no, you didn't.
I feel like this is the Jack that we were starting to get the last time I was on your podcast, where with the dynamite,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he's like,
yeah.
he's starting to like just like
Totally.
He's starting to let a couple of things go on faith,
Yeah.
and he's willing to admit he's powerless in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's let go, let God all the way.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about last time, he's like the youth pastor driving the van down the freeway.
Yeah.
Wild abandoned.
Yeah. Kate leaves. Miles is the worst security guard.
Doesn't even get up. He's like,
Hey, wait! He's like asleep. Kate goes over to the infirmary to, if nothing else, she can give blood so that they can give a transfusion to baby Ben. Roger barges in. He wants to know what's going on. Fair enough.
Which it's really interesting because now her and Roger have had a couple interactions together, and then it's probably in one of the next episodes when I forget exactly how it is. Ben's gone, and Kate says something to him like, "I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure he's fine." And Roger fucking blows up on her, and it's like, you guys had all this rapport. I mean, he's obviously drunk.
He's
as
pretty
hell
drunk.
in that
Yeah,
one.
he's pretty drunk in that episode.
But it felt very out of pocket in that episode, and it feels even more out of pocket now, knowing that they had a pretty good relationship.
It seems like
that point.
things were going kind of okay between them. Like she was doing a pretty good job of like calming him down. Like, hey, Juliet's doing the best she can. Like, obviously, you can't be hovering around.
I'm a universal donor. Here's some blood. Your kid's smaller than me. I could top him off. It'll have a nosebleed. He'll have so much of that good red stuff.
We glossed over in the winch scene, Kate and Roger. That's when they introduce themselves to each other.
Yeah.
That's where Kate realizes that Roger is Ben's father. It's just in that moment. So it's in this episode. So here's the thing that I thought sucked. Roger's doing this whole emotional thing, and John Kreese is a phenomenal actor. Like,
he's
so good. He's so good at playing Roger Workman despite the horrible wig. But it was the content of this little scene. He gets to the end of it. He talks about how they got there. Mother died the day Ben was born. He was just trying to do what he thought Mrs. Workman wanted to do. And then he gets down to it and he just says, I guess a boy just needs his mother. It's like, that's just an excuse for being a shitty father.
Yeah.
I think he's just not that great of a guy in general.
That's the thing. It's like he's not. Yeah, like he's just probably not a good dude.
Yeah.
He wants to blame it on any environmental thing besides his own shortcomings.
Exactly. He'll do anything except recognize his own failings and work to better them.
Whereas my dad just bought me a dirt bike and I turned out fucking sick as hell.
Yeah, it's like I might be a crummy dad. What am I gonna do about it? Drink 9 light beers.
Time to go screwdriver mode.
Screwdriver mode, hell yeah. Come back to the house. Hurley and Miles are still trying to suss out the time.
Yeah.
And so like Hurley's like on the verge of getting it, I think, but then he hits Miles with the whatever. Like he hits him with
the Saeed.
why doesn't Ben remember Saeed shooting him as a child?
Yeah.
If that
he
already
was
happened
torturing
to
him.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely the writers being like, some PA in the fucking writing room found a plot hole and we have to address it so that the people on the forums don't. Well, we also had that too with Rousseau and Jin.
Right, like why doesn't Rousseau remember Jin if she met him in the 80s when she was a young pregnant woman with the theme, and we wrote it up to Island craziness.
Yeah.
They'll write this up to something else in a little bit. Miles is like, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
The whole thing has been derailed.
I think that they also needed Hurley to like have a win here. And like, I don't know, I was really irritated by Hurley in this episode, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And I think they maybe realized, he's being so dense. We need to make sure.
Right. We've almost written him too stupid. We got to bring it back in. And
That's fair.
Yeah, that's I buy that. Come back to the infirmary. Juliet sends Roger over to the medical station. They need some supplies, bandages, a mop. Fucking whatever.
Put a cork in him.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, all right, I'll be right back. Thank you so much for trying to save my little boy's life. He is the apple of my eye, my surrogate channel for the love of my dead wife, and he'll never live up to the expectations that I've levied upon him, and I'm sure our relationship will be fine.
He's the twist off cap to my beer.
So he bails, and Juliet's just like, Roger leaves, and Kate's like, so how's he doing? She's like, he's gonna fucking die.
Like toast.
It's like I made Roger leave so he doesn't have to watch his son die. Like that's what's happening.
No fucking way. This kid is leaking like a sieve.
Yeah. and then she's like, "There's no way we can save his life." Unless. And Kate's like, "Unless what?" And she's like, "I know a guy.
I know this really hot jungle guy."
I think it's funny that she's like, the others.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, no, you were one of the
You were,
others.
yeah.
And she's like, well.
The us.
Yeah.
I mean,
me.
They,
we.
them.
The
we. The
we?
Them. We are they who are called them.
Yes.
And Kate's like, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
fucking let's go.
Let's do it. Like, well,
we got to do something because Jack's not.
This is the first instance in which I was asking myself, is he gonna die? Because nobody's acting like he's gonna.
Yeah, they're moving real slow.
There's a lot of lack of like urgency
Yeah.
multiple times. It's like there's this
Yeah.
kid with a massive
He's not
gunshot
even bleeding
wound.
anymore.
Yeah.
He's empty. He's
Yeah.
like a flattened Capri Sun.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just leaving him around.
Just like
and carrying him around.
So they put him in the van. They cut to a flash forward. This is the marina. This is archival footage from the episode "This Place Is Death."
Oh.
Which y'all have seen.
No.
No.
We've seen them arrive at this scene in the lighthouse.
Yes.
And one other thing, because this moment at the marina is a converging point of a couple of different flash forward storylines.
Right.
Son and Ben and Jack and Kate and Saeed and Desmond.
It's the Tokyo Drift of Lost.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so Kate realizes why Jack's been, quote, pretending to care about Aaron. He says he actually does care. I don't know if he does or not, whatever. But she's like,
no,
fuck.
but that's kind of, it's such a fucking, oh, you don't care. And he's like, no, I do.
I do care. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And then she fucking storms off.
I don't,
just like, fucking let her go. Get out of here. You suck.
He's broing out again.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's not even really your kid.
Yeah. It's like, well, it is your nephew. Fucking got him. She's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. She leaves the marina. She goes to the grocery store because Aaron wants something to drink.
Oh, God. Wants milk and then, all right, let's get milk. I want a juice box now. I'm like, man, I fucking could never have kids.
Her phone rings. She looks at it. It's Jack trying to call her. She hangs up. In the space of time in between being distracted by the phone and hanging it up, Aaron goes missing. She freaks out. She's going all over the store. I was like, he's 3 years old. He's in the store. Like,
yeah.
If somebody kidnapped him, we would have seen that person running.
I kept waiting for her to get overwhelmed by the cereal selection.
Oh, like in Hurt Locker?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because I was like, it's like Evangeline Lilly in the grocery store. Oh, where's Jeremy Renner?
Nice. She finally spots Aaron. Oh, fuck. The fucking bag boy she talked to, at first I thought it was Randy Nations. Like he looked just enough like him at first. I was like, oh shit, is that Randy? Is he back?
I would have lost my fucking mind.
I was like, oh, is this somebody on the show that they were given, like somebody like working on the show?
Yeah, I was like,
it was like
is this the fucking, is it the production secretary or like a...
Yeah.
It's like a single line.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go out to cast this.
Yeah, just grab somebody, put a fucking apron on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The famous Los Angeles grocery store chain Tim's. What's the matter? Couldn't clear Ralph's?
John's?
Yeah. But yeah, she sees a woman walking Aaron away. She has a moment of consideration that it might be... She looks like Claire from the back. Long, so
she looks like Claire from the front.
She kind of looks like Claire from the front, yeah. But yeah, she freaks out. She grabs her. Oh my god! She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you his mother? I was gonna make an announcement." Okay.
She had such a weird reaction though, too. Like the woman made me where I was like,
it was both of them was because she acted weird. It was like, "Oh, you sound like you're making up a lie to cover up the fact that you were kidnapping this boy."
Yeah. And it's like, what if she has nothing to do with the conspiracy? She was actively just trying to kidnap the child.
She's just a kidnapper.
Right, yeah.
So.
And then Kate, her reaction was almost in anger, just like, "How dare you touch my son?" But then she caught herself. She was like, "Thank you,
thank you.
Yeah.
Get away from my son."
The whole thing was really weird and tense.
My boy.
My boy. Father, no. Come back to 77. Kate arrives at the Sonic Fence, the border between the Dharma Initiative and the rest of the island. Does Kate know the code of the fence?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So like, what was she gonna do?
She's probably just gonna start
Just a holler?
yeah.
Hey!
Or like banging on the. Is it like the Jurassic Park fence? Was she? Is it
throw a rock at him, but
electrified?
but she's so like LaFleur catches up to her because like Juliet said, she's like, I'm gonna tell him, but I'll give you a head start. Not that much of a head start, but good old Jimmy LaFleur pulls up and she's like, I know you're gonna try and stop me, but I couldn't just let him die. And he's like, what kind of a sick pervert do you think I am? I'm not a sicko. Like I'm not gonna let a kid die. I know it's Ben, but like it's a kid. Like we're not all Jack. Like I'm not gonna let a kid die.
He's making the wrong choice. But is that surprising though, considering
Hey guys, I don't give a fuck about any of that. You know what my big problem with the show is? The immersion stopping moment of this show is Sawyer pulls up in the other van wearing his glasses. Why is he wearing the glasses to drive? He's farsighted. He needs them to read, not to fucking drive.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking show.
He's like he punches in the code and he's like, let's go. But he has he tells her he's like, I'm doing this for Juliet. I didn't just decide to be like, oh fuck Ben, we gotta save him. Like Juliet wanted me to do this, so I'm doing it because I'd do anything for her.
But he's like, but I'm gonna call you by my pet name for you.
Yeah.
And like I know y'all have already watched the finale for the season, so I remember listening to it, and y'all were really frustrated with him choosing Kate, or like how she reacted, and
Well, we also just hate Kate and love Juliet, so
there is that. Cut back to flash forward. Kate visits Cassidy. They're friends now.
Auntie Kate.
Yeah, as evidenced by Clementine calling her Auntie Kate. And they have a chat about it. They're just like, oh, her reaction to the grocery store thing. Cassidy gives her a little bit of cold comfort. Doesn't like jump on her or anything like that, but like she asks, like, what do you really like? What is all this really about? Is this about you doing the right thing for Claire, doing right by Claire? Or is this about you and your broken heart and you and Sawyer? And how much of this actually has to do with Aaron and his well-being?
Right.
And she's like, can you put some fucking bourbon in my coffee, please?
I desperately wanted Cassidy to be like having this conversation while also like doing check fraud. You know what I mean? Like,
she's over there just like
she's
spray
living
painting
pretty
chains.
She's got a nice
she's
house.
counterfeiting bills.
Is in LA, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's in LA. Yeah, she's got a decent. Yeah, I mean that is. She's probably doing well for herself. Whatever
that house cost at least $1 million. I think even 20 years ago.
Easily, yeah. Like something hooked up for Cassidy along the way, and she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's check fraud.
She started an MLM.
Absolutely. Fucking doTERRA.
Cut back to 77. Oh, this is where the conversation between Sawyer and Kate happens about why I'm doing it, who I'm doing this for. Yeah. I didn't write down here what anything said other than in huge letters. There is no time for this conversation.
It is bleeding out.
But in this case, Juliet continues to be Sawyer's better angel. He still hasn't found a way to be a good man, good person by his own volition. It's always an exterior impulse that forces him to do this. And in this case, it continues to be Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I think Sawyer would be like, oh, I have a fire to put out. Like,
I will say,
Ben
I
can
think
fucking bleed to death. I don't care.
Sawyer and Juliet is my favorite relationship on this show.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And like the realization when like you realize, oh, there's a spark between them when like Sawyer's coming out of the water and she's there. And I feel like they're the best thing. And I feel like the show didn't intend for that.
I agree. I think that it was something that they discovered probably when they noticed the chemistry that existed between Josh Holloway and Elizabeth Mitchell.
Elizabeth Mitchell could have chemistry with a fucking can of beans. You kidding me? Let's go.
That's fair.
Like she was a priest on, I haven't seen all of The Expanse, but one season of The Expanse, she's a priest in it. And like she does that weird like quiet acting thing, but she's like really good at it.
Yeah.
And
she'd get me back in church.
The thing that is awesome about the Julia Sawyer relationship is that we get to see it begin, peak, and end in the show. Unlike the Sun and Jin relationship, which I also am a huge fan of, but it's already extant when the show begins. We see them in the throes of the worst part of their relationship already, and we get to see that, you know, the ups and downs.
And it's
of
probably
that.
also because like Jack and Kate don't really work.
Yeah,
and Kate and Sawyer don't really work. No. And like even though that's the core thing, and
it was born out of. I think it was just it was probably happenstance. As Mallory so clearly put to me, there's no way they had any of this planned. I think they just got lucky with the Josh Holloway, Elizabeth Mitchell thing.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's something involving those two that like made her bawl in the finale.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
Don't let her completely fool you.
I believe she has a heart. We cut to the house. Juliet comes to confront Jack
in the shower.
So weird. Like, so Hurley and Miles are sitting there playing dominoes and drinking lemonade.
Hell yeah. Gotta give him something to do.
What else? The fire's out. Like, Saeed's elsewhere. We don't have to worry about. We're not actually being incurred by the hostiles. Like, we can chill. Like, but she's like, "Where's Jack?" In the shower. Can you give us some privacy? You're already in a different room. Just go back there. Just like fuck their shit up.
And why did he need to suddenly take a shower too? Which I thought that I don't know. Like, I feel like they're like, let's just throw him in the shower.
Just get him in the shower. Yeah. Let's get another look at that goofy ass tattoo.
Matthew Fox is like, guys, I've been on a fucking 6-week cut, and I ain't gonna wear the fucking blue t-shirt again. you gotta show the fucking.
Well, I think this was around the Speed Racer.
Yeah, when he lost a bunch of weight for Speed Racer. But yeah, Miles and Hurley fuck off, and they're like, one of them says, "Tell me some more stuff about time travel or whatever." I was just like, why did you have them say a line there? Just leave.
Yeah,
that's annoying. But they go in there, they had this confrontation. She's like, "I can't believe you would just let a little boy die." And he's like, out of everybody, how come you're not the one? Like, fuck yeah. Like, he fucked your whole shit up. Like, your sister. Like, not the Jack, and he knows any of this. But, like, he's got reason to believe that Juliet would be on his side, and she's not.
Right.
Because she, she's a doctor or whatever. Do no harm. Whatever.
She just got too close to him over the last 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, and so, she's watched him grow from like a 9-year-old to a 12-year-old, however old he is. Like, she's grown up around little baby Ben, and it's like it'd be a harder thing for her to do because he's not an abstract idea. He's not the seed of Ben. He's a little boy. He's a little Benny Linus from the Dharma Initiative.
It's so interesting, and that's the thing that I love about this episode is Jack is like, no, I'm gonna let this play out. Like the causality has to figure this out, and Jack's indecision is what makes Ben Ben.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and okay, all right, okay. Hey, Lindelof, cues. All right.
They have a little bit back and forth about why he came back, and he's like, "I came back here to save all of you," and she's like, "We didn't need saving." Everything was going fine.
How's he supposed to know that?
Well, and but that's the thing. Jack making assumptions, that's old Jack behavior, because old Jack is the guy who got on the plane to come back. New Jack is whatever.
Right.
Old Jack making assumptions about what people need and what he can do for them. Like, they didn't need saving. They were trapped in the past 30 years ago, but like life was good for Miles and Sawyer and Juliet. It was okay. They had made a life for. They made fucking lemonade, whatever.
Everyone else got on that plane to go save them as well. You know what I mean? Well, the assumption was they need to be saved. We left them on an island.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have done it without Jack's from prompting from John Locke and from Ben. Jack was pretty drunk, and he would have just like continued flying over the ocean himself, and that not working.
Yeah. No, I got you.
But yeah, so like,
I just think we were fine. I don't know if that's fair. Like, it's accurate. It's not fair.
The thing that is the most accurate is that you didn't come back here for us. You can say that you did, but you came back here for you. That's the thing that ends up being the most. She said you didn't come back here, and that's true. And he didn't need to do that. He did need to come back for him. Yes. And that's 100% true. Cut to the jungle, the creek, LaFleur and Kate.
Taking his sweet time.
Yeah. They're like just carrying this corpse to fucking Survivor Beach to bury him by everybody else. Fucking the kid's dead. They have another little conversation.
I guess you saw Clementine. She looks just like you. She's got an attitude.
Shut the fuck up.
If you think about it too, like, Sawyer's carrying Ben through this jungle.
Yeah.
Dropping him,
Just
like,
shaking all the blood out of him.
The kid is holding his head up because I gotta assume he was tired of like holding his head like limp and like pinching his throat. So his head's like just like up, like he's like, yeah, well, I guess he's still alive because he's holding his head erect.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that Kate offered up that information about Clementine, like, as she did have to be the one to cover for Sawyer, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think...
Maybe she's just different now that she's a mom, a single mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Single
that's
mom
fair.
out here just doing her best.
Yeah.
But Cassidy's not wrong, I don't think, about Sawyer being like, yes,
Oh,
I'm doing this
absolutely.
heroic thing, but I'm doing it so I don't have to deal with my problems.
Oh,
back home.
yeah. You're just Sawyer's like $50,000 is a much better father than me. Like,
Yeah,
and he's
agreed.
probably not wrong. The others pop out of the tree line, hold him at gunpoint. Yeah, we got you. They're like, you're in violation of the truce. You're beyond the line. And he's
Yeah,
like, I
got it,
know.
nerd.
You think I would be here? Just like willing, like I'm not out for a walk. Look,
I'm out for my corpse stroll.
yeah, just taking the body out, get a little fresh air. It's getting a little ripe in my fucking
The boy
basement.
doesn't seem to be well. Thought some jungle air might help.
It's like in the old times when somebody was sick and they send them to the coast to, you know, maybe the air will heal them. Does the air heal gunshots?
Not sure what's going on with the kid here. This might just be puberty.
LaFleur demands to see Richard. He's like, "You're gonna take me to Richard Alpert, otherwise we're going to war."
Yeah.
So, oh shit. Okay. Well,
Oh,
we didn't want to
okay.
go to war, so I
Damn,
guess we'll
son.
take you to Richard. Shit, relax.
You say so.
Cut back to the flash forward. Kate meets up with Mrs. Littleton.
Man, this actress is doing fine. There's something about her eyebrows or her eyes that just like irks me to where I didn't believe a word she was saying.
Sure.
Just the performance I felt was just like she's trying too hard, like not to blink, I think.
I wonder if she's like a Australian soap actress or something like that.
I wonder. I don't know.
You know, because
Don't know.
she seemed truly Australian.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it makes sense for them to hire
A
Australian
real
actors.
Australian,
yeah.
as opposed to like somebody from LA that's just doing an Australian accent.
Yeah. And like, so I kind of wonder if that's part of it too. I have no idea who she is, but
Kate also chooses here to tell Mrs. Littleton the truth, the big truth, as opposed to the big lie. Claire's still alive. The baby is your grandson. Kate has decided that she is going to go back. After the conversation with Cassidy, she's going to leave Aaron with Mrs. Littleton so that she can go back to the island to rescue Claire, who she needs saving. Because nobody knows where she went after the end of season 4. She literally disappeared for a year. And then when the next time we saw her, she had lost it. Kate says, I checked in 2 doors down from here. Aaron is sleeping in there. When you're ready, I've just told you a bunch of shit. You can come say hi and then take him because I'm leaving him with you. And I didn't ask you if you were cool with that. I'm gonna do it. But she goes on there and she says goodbye to Aaron. She has this little tearful like thing. Goodbye, baby. Bye, baby.
I actually feel like she did a pretty good job in this episode.
That was
Like,
some of the best lost acting I've seen Evangeline Lilly do in 5 years of this show.
Yeah.
Like,
Was it or was it Michael Giacchino?
I think she did a good job. I mean, the music's there.
yeah, the music definitely. I mean, the music is supposed to help. It's supposed to help. But I think even if you take it away, even
I
if you
feel
take
like it's
the
some
midway,
of her
she's-
better acting.
Is fine.
But yeah, like
Yeah, no, I dug it. I was into it. We cut to the jungle. Richard arrives, comes out of the trees, and is just like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "This is a gunshot boy." And he's like, "Is that Benjamin Linus?" And I'm like, do you guys fucking know each other? Like,
He was a gunshot boy.
and he's like, he's gonna die, and we can't let him die. So like, you gotta take him. And Richard's like, yeah, we can probably save him. The thing is, we put him in the deep fryer. Number 1, he's not going to remember this. It's going to erase his memory. So that fixes the earlier plot
We
hole.
fixed it. Nice.
But it will also take his innocence. This is a little bit of foreshadowing to the end of the season, which we have seen, in which they deep fried Saeed, and he came out all weird and zombied.
yeah.
So
Came out fine.
the thing is like, how do you take, like, so Saeed, I mean, and we're not going to get too much into this because this is, but Saeed doesn't have innocence.
Right.
So what did it take?
Yeah.
And what did it take that caused him to be so weird, you know?
Maybe like it even
just like double down. It's like, okay, not only am I taking away your innocence, I'm pumping a bunch of evil into you.
Because I feel like Saeed still has like a moral sense about him.
And that's
it just fully removed that.
Which is fun because I think Saeed's moral center is so strong that it does slowly grow back. Because we do witness him. Saeed was told by Flock to go kill Desmond, and he cut him loose instead of killing. But yeah, so they're like, well, I mean, whatever. If we take him, he's always going to be one of us. And so he's like, here,
whatever,
fine,
fucking
cool.
Take him. Otherwise, I'm going to cease to exist.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to the future. And then one of the others is like, Richard, I don't know. I think maybe Charles and Ellie wouldn't like this. And he's like, I don't answer to them.
I don't fucking care.
I'm Richard Alpert.
It's so funny. Hearing the name Charles, I was like, Charles Widmore.
Charles Widmore. Fuck yeah.
I don't know why. Like anytime I'm like, Charles Widmore.
Charles
Widmore. For 15 years now.
Yeah. I wish they would have said his full name. I don't think that Charles Widmore and Ellie Hawking are going to like this.
If he pops up in anything, I'm like, it's Charles Widmore.
Charles Widmore. And it's funny, Allie was on the show and she's like, oh, that guy from the OC.
Yeah.
Yeah. The OC's Allendale.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he's one of the Romulan senators, like disintegrated at the start of Star Trek Nemesis, I was watching that, and I was like, Charles Widmore,
son of a bitch,
And if Desmond's in anything, I'm like, that's Desmond.
It's the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so Richard doesn't answer Charles Widmore, or Ellie, Eloise Hawking.
Fuck them people.
Spoiler, that's who they're talking about. And so then Richard takes Ben to the temple. And then we do see the temple later in the season. We've seen it here on Lost on Lost. There's a deep fryer inside. It brings people back to life, but it's full of some sort of poison. We cut to, and I didn't know when or where this scene was.
Clue.
Yeah. I had to look it up. As soon as Ben goes into the temple, we cut to this thing. Adult Ben wakes up in a cot, and there's a bald guy sitting in front of him. We just see him from the back. And we wake up, and it's John Locke. And he's like, welcome back to the land of the living.
Okay.
So I looked it up. This is the Hydra station.
Oh.
Okay. And this is Flock.
I knew that.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's got
I think that's why he's like, welcome back to the land of the living, because the last time Ben saw John was dead.
Interesting.
But yeah, so we saw this. Some of the folks from Ajira didn't travel back in time. Son Frank, Alana, Caesar, Ben, they stayed in 2007 with Locke's body. And so this is that. This is 2007 on the island, the Hydra station. They're holed up there post-crash.
Got it. Okay.
This must be after Son whacked him with a paddle.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what happened.
Sure.
Like Flock found it.
I feel like they were trying to invent a new type of cloaking device that causes them to like phase through matter.
Yeah.
And that's breaking a massive treaty.
Treater of Algernon. I know it's not the Treaty of Algernon, but I always say that because it makes me think
Khitomer Accords.
The Khitomer Accords.
Yeah. Tell us, JP.
Yeah, JP. What's the difference between the Treaty of Algernon and the Khitomer Accords?
So did we like it? Was it good? That's what we're here to answer. What did we think about whatever happened? Justin, start us off.
I didn't hate this episode. I think because like the fact that like the only episodes of Lost I've watched in the last 5 years are the ones I've had to watch for this show, and it was kind of nice having one that like tied into like 3 out of the previous 4. Really, maybe every single one. Like I know like only one of them takes place after this. The last time I was on, it was after this.
Yeah,
but the like Jack's mentality was already starting to pick. So I felt like there's a genuine through line through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a good example of them figuring out a bingeable model of television while still being episodic in a way. Because it did feel like it was just like getting point A to point B. It's like thrown in the middle. Whereas I feel like the first season or 2, they weren't quite there yet.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say like I would give this episode like a B.
B, sure.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it.
Sure. Yeah.
B. Cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
JP, what do you say?
Yeah, I like this one. This one's pretty good. I would have liked it more had the Flash forwards not been Kate.
Okay.
However, I didn't hate it because it was Kate scenes.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I just don't like Kate.
Yeah.
But I thought that the scenes were fine. So, yeah, I was entertained by this one. It was pretty good.
Yeah, cool.
Adam.
Yeah. There's some decent tension. Like, just in the 45 minutes, they had a problem. Granted, they didn't attack it with the sense of urgency that one would have thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some stakes. There was a goal. There was action. There was character stuff. There was a little bit of conflict. Yeah. I was into it. Not bad.
Yeah.
It did feel like the middle part of a 3-part arc.
Yeah.
Because it picks up with that Jin moment,
Yeah.
and then it ends with this super good cliffhanger.
I feel like season 5 was really good. I mean, it was nominated for best drama. Like seasons 4, 5, and 6 were all nominated, but I feel like I remember it being so good and like demanding you like watch the next week.
I wonder how good watching these 3 episodes in a row. This one, the one before, which I think is This Place Means Is Death, and then whatever the episode after. I wonder if you watch these 3 in a row, what that would be like.
Well, I think they consider this one to be a pretty big cliffhanger because it's like on the Blu-ray. It's the last episode on that disc.
Ooh.
Oh,
and
nice. So you'd have to get up and flip the disc.
Yeah. They had this interesting thing that they were doing with these Blu-rays called season play, that it was set up to make it more bingeable for you, to where like your Blu-ray player would remember exactly where you were and just immediately start up right at the episode and like go on. Okay. And but I feel like this one was like, I think they knew the like lock being there at the end was like the big like, wait,
that's
what?
A big punch.
Because I don't, maybe he hadn't been in any episodes yet, except maybe in some flashbacks, if they did any flashbacks.
Life and Death of Jeremy Bentham would have been about 4 episodes before this.
Okay.
And if he appeared in anything before that, he probably would have just been as a body.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this might have been the first time he was alive since whenever.
I mean, this was the season that got Barack Obama to move the date of the State of the Union.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like it was like the premiere of season 6 or something.
Yeah,
and they were like, we're not gonna compete
with Lost because we don't want people to not watch the State of the Union because Lost is on.
Yeah, and they didn't want to piss off Lost fans by moving it because like
I can't believe Barack Obama put the State of the Union on. I'm voting for fucking,
which is wild that a show would be that
Romney.
That popular. Yeah, he was like, he's like, I don't want to do this.
I'm not going to piss off all these people. There's still a lot of people at this point too. Yeah, and they're hardcore.
It was like 25 million people were watching it.
Yeah. So this was all right, folks. Hope you liked it at least as much as we did because we liked it all right.
Yeah.
Want to give out some awards?
Yeah. Next up on the list. Next up on the agenda here, the Lost MVP. He's out here ruling the roost. Number 1, kicking ass, taking names. A third thing, Justin.
I'm shocked to have 2 episodes in a row that I've been on, but Jack, he's the only one that made the correct moral decision. Everyone else is a sympathizer.
The correct moral decision because his inaction still led to him becoming Hitler.
But he still he was making the right decision by.
I like that he stuck by his guns.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, the strength of his convictions and all that. But in this. It's that causality thing, regardless of your...
Honestly, he probably should have gone in there and killed the kid.
Just killed him instead of waiting for him to die.
Yeah.
But that's the question. It's like, if you kill baby Hitler, does something arise to take baby Hitler's place? It's like, you can't escape. That's my is like, is there an answer? It's like, killing baby Hitler, does it actually solve the problem? Or will fascism still rise?
I mean, it probably will, but,
Because it's still happening now.
Yeah.
Made myself sad. Jack, the strength of his convictions. A proto good Jack. Like these are the early days of him being a man of faith.
But I think he was right. I think everybody else just in the 70s timeline, everybody else just kind of frustrated me.
Sure.
Except for like Juliet didn't. Like Juliet didn't do anything.
She's just doing her job.
She's honorable mention always to Juliet.
JP, what do you say? MVP.
Listen, Justin, I know you're not going to like this. I'm going to give it a to Hurley and Miles. I loved the time travel talk. It's so dumb and it's so self-effacing, but I liked it. I was smiling the whole time. Honorable mention to Juliet, because she's just great in every scene. Adam.
Juliet.
Yeah.
Okay.
She might not necessarily be happy about attempting to save Ben's life, but same thing, sticking to her morals. She's not going to let a kid die despite the fact that he does grow up to be a monster.
Yeah.
So, and I do like her standing up to Jack too about his shit.
Totally.
Trying to saddle her with the responsibility of his decision. And I like her compassion with Kate too, like knowing that they usually don't see eye to eye, but in this instance they both don't want to see baby Ben die. And so yeah, Juliet.
If it weren't for that conversation happening in the shower, I feel like I would have liked it a lot more.
Speaking of things that we didn't like, the other half of this bit, the Lost Forever. King Sock of Shit Mountain out here fucking up. Just hack style, hacking their way through the episode. 45 minutes, whatever happened, Justin. Who's lost forever?
For me, it was Hurley this time.
Hurley?
Like, Miles didn't bug me.
Wow.
It was like just Hurley.
Hurley's out here catching a couple strays. He got a Lost Forever from Kluge recently.
Tucker in season one.
Tucker.
There's just something about him in this episode that I was like, this doesn't. I don't know. The shtick was starting to wear off.
Sure.
Just only in this episode though, because I know, I think in the next one, Some Like It Hot or whatever, he's really funny and great.
He's great in Some Like It Hot.
Yeah.
And it's an extension. It's like they laid this stupid foundation so they can do that in it.
Yeah.
So they can do a good version of it in Some Like It Hot.
And I think like this one, maybe Hughes and Lindelof aren't good at jokes, but they're good at mystery and drama.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think
they're not good at that too.
Well, like, I wonder if it's just not their strong suit.
Oh, yeah.
If
Sure.
And so like this was so.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's why you have writers' rooms.
Yeah.
You write a script and you're like, this is fucking dour. It's like, well, let's throw some jokes in there.
I just feel like, it felt like it was like, oh, this is the comic relief for this episode of this shot child.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It didn't land for me. That's all.
Doesn't always.
Yeah.
Some of the jokes, some jokes don't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
JP.
Specifically, flash forward Kate. This whole I have to have this struggle on my own, even though my friends are like in on the lie. I'm not willing to listen to reason when everyone's meeting up at the dock. Like, it just fucking pisses me off.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I just don't care for it. Regular timeline or 70s Kate was still obnoxious, but like I kind of understood her reasoning, whereas flash forward I was just like, shut up.
Sure. That's fair.
Adam.
Real quick, I have to go back. I'm not changing my answer for MVP. I have to add an honorable mention. I can't fully change my answer to MVP to Cassidy because I forgot she was in the episode. So, but I'm going to give her an honorable mention because I really like that scene with getting Kate to realize that she was just kind of being selfish about her shit, and the right thing to do would be to get Aaron back to Claire.
Like Cassidy is like the most reasonable person in this episode.
Yeah, I remember thinking earlier, I was like, okay, I think Cassidy's going to carry this, but then I forgot that shit happened. So she can't. I guess you can't be the MVP if I forgot you
forgot about it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go back and give her an honorable mention. My Lost Forever. Fucking what's his face? Horace.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
I hate that guy. Like, and that's
sucks.
a little bit of my hatred for Doug Hutchison seeping through. But like, also, he's also just kind of a wiener. If that,
he's such a cop.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking narc out there. And like, and it's the fucking long hair and the glasses. It's like, no, hello, fellow kids. Like, no, you're a fucking cop and you're lame as hell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Horace mathematician.
Absolutely. Good job. Nice.
Eugene Toombs.
Fuck, that episode's creepy. Oh.
He would have returned last year. Do you know this episode of X-Files, JP? These two episodes? He's like he's a liver-eating mutant who can like stretch.
Yeah, he's like sort of like he's like if Mr. Fantastic were a horrifying nightmare creature that hibernates every 18 years.
I think it's every 30 years.
30 years?
And then Mulder is like, I think they look back through like criminal records.
And they see like all these cold cases.
Like,
it's like there's pattern of
missing livers and bodies. And it's like it always happens every 30 years. And they're like, oh, is it a copycat?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's this
guy.
monster. And then
the livers give him the energy he needs to sustain his 30-year hibernation.
Yeah.
And then when he runs out of energy, that's when he wakes up to refeed and stuff.
And then the second episode he's in, it's like his trial, and they're like having to be like, no, yeah, this guy's been killing people for 200 years, and they're like, what?
There's no way.
Then he gets out and he returned last year.
Yeah,
allegedly.
All right, where's that? Did you ever see that Mulder meme too? Where it's like him all sweaty, and it's just a picture of him looking sad, and it's just fuck aliens, man. And then the next panel is like him looking at the stars. I'm gonna still look though.
Justin, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Nothing too specific.
Just Lost on Lost?
Yeah, everybody listen to Lost on Lost if you haven't already. And always the Brent Renaud Foundation, people to check that out if they could. And then, go vote. This is probably coming out after.
Yeah, this will probably be out after, but
if it is,
there's an election coming up.
We'll see how this world is.
Yeah, maybe podcasts will be outlawed.
Yeah,
and,
JP
and
for sure.
We'll be on the lam. We'll be. You remember that movie Pirate Radio? It would be like that.
Yeah,
we're gonna be on a sinking ship.
No, you and I are gonna be on a flat bottom fishing boat in the middle of Lake Winnebago, recording a podcast on a broken iPhone.
Yeah, just like the palm reader said.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Justin, thank you so much for
big plug to the Blu-ray box set. Of
if you're a Lost fan, there's we're gonna post some pictures. But yeah, there's so much great stuff for heads.
It's so nuts.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have one, email us at we'relostonlost@gmail.com and tell us what's it like to be poor. Adam, what are we watching next time?
Oh, great question. If you want to be lost with us, come on back in a couple of weeks. We're going to be watching season 5, episode 15. Follow the Leader.
Okay.
Featuring Richard Alpert.
Richard?
Emmy award-winning Nestor Carbonell is our...
Last time we had a Richard episode, it was like one of the highlights of this fucking show. So,
fucking
all right, I'm down.
Abby Turno? Hell yeah.
Abby someone.
Chris Waters is coming back.
Oh, nice.
It's been a long time since Danger's been on the podcast, and he's been he won't stop blowing up my phone. But he's gonna be on, and he's gonna be talking some Lost with us. So come on back for that. It's gonna be a fucking blast.
Awesome. Well, look forward to that. Justin, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is always a highlight.
Bringing the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Standing on Adam's street.
Yeah, standing on my street for almost a half an hour.
Lowered his property value. That's good.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone out there, for tuning in to another episode of Lost on Lost.
Yeah, I'm Adam.
And I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on this show?
No.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.